morning, PotCoins. Today is Sunday, 26 April 2015. We are currently on block 75, 59, 47 of the Pot chain. Here's what's been going on this week. The month of April has been particularly shitty for Potcoin. Many hoped for a price rally due to the holiday season, but instead, shit just sucked. Wallet.potcoin.com is still down, and so is the PotChain Explorer. I really hate to say this, especially since a mobile wallet is so important, but you shouldn't trust your coins to anyone. The reason cryptos exist is to remove the third-party control over your funds. You are safest using the original desktop wallet, the Qt client. Also, in other bad news, the subreddit has been overflowing with bitching, bickering, gossip, and drama. Not that it's all without reason, but it's getting ridiculous. I thought that we, as stoners, were better than that, or at least that we had an intrinsically higher level of chillness. But as it turns out, we're no different from any other group. No better and no worse. Stoners are just regular people. And we do good and bad the same as any other group. Things are looking bleak for Potcoin. Is it over? Is this the end? Did we lose? I still don't think so. I'm fully aware of how much shit sucks, and yet I still hold my optimism for Potcoin. PotLabs is back on the scene after laying low for a while. They've taken over the social media accounts, website domains, and access to the GitHub from Potcoin systems. PotLabs is responsible for the Pot Market Club that came out last month and PotWallet.com along with a few other projects. Hopefully these guys grab the reins and steer in a better direction. Already they've come up with a roadmap for the next few months. For the month of May, they'll be advertising with banner campaigns, hosting giveaways, and update the code for PotWallet.com. By June, they plan on forking the coin to proof-of-stake velocity algorithm, rebranding PotCoin.com, and getting professional video advertising. There's more planned for July, August, and beyond, and I'll be sure to talk more about it in the future, but I'll wait to see what happens. Switching to proof-of-stake is huge, and I think much needed. In terms of network security and making mining accessible to everyone, proof of stake is the way to go. Another reason I'm holding on to my optimism is because of a new member to the Potcoin community. Avalee Jade Dom has joined the subreddit and has been posting non-stop, showing a much needed display of enthusiasm. And she started a blog too. So what happened to get us this low? Did the original dev team bail? Probably, it sure does look that way. But this community transition is actually happening, and it hasn't failed yet. I remember being a stupid kid in high school when I started smoking pot. Yes, that is too early, and I don't recommend it. But I thought I would see legalization happen in my lifetime. Most people told me I was a stupid stoner and that it would never happen. And barely a decade later, I now live in the pot freedom capital of the world. How did it happen? Well, we just kept doing what we did, and we didn't give up. Now I have the freedom to get stoned and not be beaten and thrown into a cage for it, which had happened to me more than once in my past. I think the last time that I got arrested for pot was back in 2002, and at the worst of times, while sitting in a cage, I still thought to myself, I'll see legalization in my lifetime. Potcoin is down in the dumps right now, but I don't see any evidence that it's giving up or going to die. Sometimes shit sucks. That's the nature of reality. But as long as there are those with hope, we'll get to where we want to be. Last week, 420 happened. Stoners got stoned. I took a break from the show this holiday season to go to a hash bar in Colorado Springs, and it was a great time. But back to stupid news. Prisons are getting breached by drones. Innovative and sympathetic entrepreneurs have taken to the skies to import contraband into prisons by use of drone. Reports have come from multiple facilities in the US, Ireland, England, Australia, and Canada of drones delivering pot, cigarettes, cell phones, and other goodies to prisoners. I think this is great. The reason I think that is because I believe the vast majority of prisoners don't deserve to be there. I can't speak for the statistics of the other countries I mentioned, but here in the US, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, only 2.9% of prisoners were convicted of violent crimes. Add in the 7% for sex offenders, and we're still under 10% for the people almost everyone would agree deserve to be there. An alarming 48.7% are there for non-violent drug offenses. It's easy to blindly think of prisoners as bad people, but is this actually the case? People have been unjustly punished, and so what if they want to get stoned or use a cell phone? I think drone deliveries to prison are a great idea and hopefully somehow a profitable one. The true measure of civilization in a society is not measured by how it treats its most affluent members, but how it treats its criminals. Prisoners are people too, and not all of them, not even most of them, are bad. I was going to talk about Bitcoin or Dash or PayPal changing its terms of service to steal digital content, but instead there's even more PotCoin news. The Colorado Marijuana Enforcement Division has finally issued a statement of position on the use of digital currencies for the purchase of pot, and their position is that it's okay. This is not specific to PotCoin, so Bitcoin and Dash or whatever will be acceptable too. It took a long time to get this response, and it's the response that we wanted to get. The pot industry's banking troubles have not improved at all. Instead, as the industry grows, the banking problems are getting worse. Armed with the knowledge that the use of cryptos is explicitly permitted, many dispensaries can start accepting PotCoin. Getting the knowledge out there is still going to be a challenge, but at least now we have something to work with. This news comes at a good time for PotCoin. After a month of going to shit and everything seeming to fall apart, it ends on an up note with PotLabs taking over and the M.E.D permitting the transfer of pot for PotCoins. That's it for this edition of Mad PotCoins. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.